well.
Apologies for the delay. Technical issues are all good in the hood. I only had 100 people on, and I was like, that's not enough space. So we will get started. I hope everyone is good. So I think everyone is muted, and obviously you can have your videos on or off. And it's lovely to see so many people here. Okay, so we will kick off this morning. This is our fourth Bridal Bootcamp, and we've fab speakers. So I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming on board, because it's so appreciated that you take so much time out of your days off and the weekend to come on and have the chats, and we all really appreciate it. Us brides, we're just about hanging in everything that's going on. So I'm going to kick start with Clodagh, Dr. Clodagh Campbell. You are very welcome. How are you?
Hi Sinead, how are you doing?
Lovely to meet you over Zoom.
I know, it's funny, isn't it? You feel like you know people via Instagram, but then we've never actually spoken in real life.
Never actually spoken, it's mad. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, I'm just dying to hear kind of what you do and your background and everything else. Fill us all in.
So my name is Clodagh. I am a mom of 2 little girls and a psychologist. So about a year ago, I set up the Wellness Psychologist, and it was before COVID even hit. So it was funny the timing that it happened at. We were just getting into COVID times. But I kind of felt like it could be really helpful to share some of my psychology knowledge and how it impacts all of us on a daily basis. And it's really taken off. People are really interested in it, the little nuggets that I share, because I think the biggest thing is we're all so alike, and we probably don't realize it. We all feel a lot of the same things, but we feel them, you know, in isolation, and we don't talk about them enough. So if we talk about them and if we understand ourselves a little bit better, we all realize that we're all in it together.
So so you started your Instagram properly around COVID times?
Just before, it was January last year.
Okay. And so I suppose it's obviously been a really, really hard time for brides. I think that's kind of what we wanted to chat a little bit about today. And I think the biggest thing I feel, especially like if you're anyway organized or planner or anything like that when it comes to weddings, this has really been hard because we don't know what's around the corner and we don't know what's next. And it's that constant unknown and being unable to plan. It just makes it really, really hard.
Yeah, I got married a couple of years ago, and even without COVID, I think wedding planning is actually quite stressful. You know, it's a lot to think about. You're thinking about your preferences and what you and your partner want, but then you're also thinking about your friends, your family, what other people have done. You know, it's financially stressful. You're trying to fit it all in on top of everyday life and your 9 to 5. So without COVID, it's an anxiety-provoking time as it is. And then throw in COVID when you don't know how many guests you're going to have. You don't know if the day itself is going to go ahead. And the unknown is the hardest part. I think if somebody said to all the brides in Ireland, you know, come July 2021, you can get married, start planning. If you had a date that was definite, I think that would really help.
And something to work towards as well.
Yeah, so I think my biggest piece of advice would be to try to manage your stress levels and your anxiety levels and the tension that you're experiencing because of it all as best you can. It's really incredibly difficult. And if you're finding it incredibly difficult, that's normal. You know, I imagine 90% of brides right now, you know, are finding it stressful, if not more.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know about anyone else here, but we tend to be very hard on ourselves, because I know I feel like, God, I shouldn't be so stressed over a wedding. You know, people are going through a worse time, or people have loved ones who are really unwell in hospital, but it's all relevant, isn't it? And I think that's what we need to kind of say to ourselves in our heads as well. We're allowed to absolutely feel those feelings.
Of course you are. Getting married is one of the biggest life events that you're ever going to have. And it's such a special time and it means so much to you. So of course it's okay and natural and normal to feel upset and worried and stressed. As you said, it's all relative. And if, you know, everything else is going well, of course you're going to feel stressed about this. You want your special day in the way that you have imagined it for however many years in your head. You know, lots of us grow up thinking about our special day and the dress we're going to wear and where we're going to have it and who's going to be by our side. We've built it up over years. So of course we're going to be disappointed if something threatens that.
Yeah. So I suppose what we start with, I know we spoke briefly about this, like a little bit of grounding. I think this is going to be a really nice little thing that we can all do together this morning. So you kickstart us off there and give us some tricks.
So I'm going to do a little exercise. It's only going to be a couple of minutes. So if people are starting to panic thinking, oh my God, I don't want to do, you know, breathing exercise or a little grounding exercise, it's only going to be 2-3 minutes. So to get started, I just encourage everybody to just sit as comfortably as you can in the chair that you're sitting on the sofa, in front of your laptop. Just, you know, give yourself a little settle, and if you feel comfortable, I'll ask you to close your eyes. So just allow yourself to sit, close your eyes, and let your body settle. And use your breath to guide you. So your deep breaths in and out at a pace that feels comfortable to you. And as you're allowing yourself to still and to settle, I'll encourage you to just check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I doing today? How am I doing today? How am I feeling? How are my stress levels today? And while you're wondering all of this and thinking all of this, continuing to allow your breathing to keep you grounded. Your deep breathing in and out as you think, how am I today? And also to give yourself a moment to check in with your body and how your body is feeling. Are your shoulders feeling tense? Is your body feeling tense? And if so, when you're sitting like this and allowing yourself to pause, how is that feeling? When you're allowing yourself to catch your breath, do you feel your shoulders drop a little bit? Do you feel your heart rate maybe return to a more resting pace? Often we get caught up in the stress of the day and our heartbeat can be racing. So allowing ourselves to just still and settle will naturally bring our heartbeat down, our heart rate down. Naturally, our shoulders will drop. And as we come to the end of today's little exercise, ask yourself this question. What can I do for myself today? What can I do to help myself feel more grounded, less stressed, less busy? So with that in mind, open your eyes and come back and join us. And I'm sure the next couple of hours will also be grounding to just hear of other people in the same situation, to hear of what we can be doing, what you can be doing to look after yourselves and to try keep the spirits up, you know, to enjoy the experience of wedding planning even in COVID, because that's part of it as well. It's like COVID kind of has robbed the joy a bit, I'm sure, for lots of brides. So allowing yourself to really savor this chat about weddings and to really think about what your wedding's going to be like when the day comes.
Thanks, Clodagh. You have the most relaxing voice. I've told you that before, but it's actually, it's so nice. And I think we all needed that, especially when I was freaking out there with my tech issues. But no, thank you so much. And just in general, Dr. Clodagh, but Clodagh, where are you based or how are you operating now at the minute? Because obviously, I do think COVID is going to have a huge impact on, and it is, like, let's be honest, people's mental health in Ireland. But just how can people contact you or where are you based? Are you virtually working now as well?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram as the wellness psychologist. You'll probably have seen me tagged in Sinead's posts and everybody else's posts. And the best place to catch me is Instagram, or there's an email address on my Instagram account. I offer lots of little tips on kind of anxiety, managing anxiety, grounding yourself, managing stress levels. So I share all of that on a frequent basis on my Instagram. And I can always do a little bridal chat. And I know, Sinead, we said we might do a live together soon.
Yeah,
If people come over. Yeah, if people come over to my Instagram, there'll be lots there. There's also some wellness programs that are free to access as well. So yeah, come join me.
Clodagh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That was so nice and such a nice way to start the day. So thank you so much for taking the time out.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Chat to you soon. Bye. Now, Leanne, you're super busy and I'm so sorry to keep you waiting.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm wide awake anyway. That's for
sure. I was going to say, I'd say your session this morning had you wide awake. I'm just going to pin you here now just so we can get you on the screen. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Yeah. So sorry that I didn't make a huge effort, guys, but I'm just finished a workout online. So I'm very happy that we're only together virtually.
Okay, so I think I have a year. Perfect. Do you know what, Leanne? This is funny. I Googled you the other day and I didn't know you were on, was it Eurostar or something like that as well?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
You know, when something happened in another lifetime and you kind of go, wow, that was so long ago. It was 2008. But because I posted that on Instagram the other day, that's probably where you saw it, was it?
Yeah, no, I actually just Googled you as well, just to get
it was actually like the day before St. Patrick's Day that the final was on. So that's when that year comes around, all those lovely memories.
And you are a fab singer as well, because I've seen you on Instagram singing as well. So amazing. You are, stop, you're fab, multi-talented. Nutrition advisor, trainer, singer.
Yeah, I was like, years ago, people used to ask me what I did, you know, what do you do? And I'm like, well, it's kind of like a patchwork quilt and someday it will make sense.
I think as well, like I did lots of random bits, like I did a styling course and a makeup course and obviously I'm a full-time nurse, but it's actually lovely. And it's nice to do all those little bits and bobs, but it's lovely to meet people along the way as well. Yeah. Anyway, you got married 2 years ago? Is it nearly 2 years ago?
I should have remembered. Yeah, 2019, July 2019.
And it was abroad. Tell us where it was.
We got married in the hills in Marbella, so it's a little town called Ogen, maybe people pronounce it as. But it is it was gorgeous. I had a wedding planner out there, and I said I would just love a bit of a view. Like all I want is just a gorgeous view. And oh my days, when she brought us to our venue, which was Villa Finca Palma, it was just incredible. Mountains and the sea, just breathtaking. And I was just like, yeah, this is where it's happening.
It looked absolutely amazing. Sorry, someone's asking about my volume. You can't really hear me very clear. Sorry about that. I don't know what I can do with that. Anyone else having issues, let me know. So, and then obviously, how many people did you have abroad, or how did you find the whole wedding abroad? Was it stressful? We'll just chat a bit about that first, and then we'll get into it.
So again, we had a wedding planner. So honestly, it was stress-free. Honestly, it really was. It was amazing. Every decision that had to be made, it was just kind of, do you want to choose between these? I was like, this one, or you know, really, really nice. I did do obviously the guest list and the table plans and all of that myself, which is the part I found the hardest. But as we were going abroad, you know, of course, there was people who weren't able to make it at the time as well. And you're going abroad. We were going in the height of summer.
Yeah.
We had about 120 guests, I think. And it was just such a
really nice number.
It was holiday vibes from the second that people landed there. They treated it like as a holiday, and it was just fabulous. And actually, we were only having this conversation on Zoom the other night with my husband's parents, and they were like, you know, imagine planning that abroad now or wedding now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
So
imagine.
It is so hard. Yeah.
I feel so much for everybody. It's just the unknown is so difficult. But you know, I am the most strongest believer in timing of life, and things happen at the time they're supposed to happen. So if it is a thing that people are rescheduling, yes, it's stressful, and yes, it's a huge decision and all of that. But I'm such a huge believer in timing. So your time is coming, like your time will be there, and it will be absolutely breathtakingly wonderful. And
It happens for a reason as well. I think. Even though it's very frustrating, but definitely there's a reason for everything in life.
yeah.
So let's chat a bit about nutrition and training and stuff like that.
Oh, nobody wants to talk about that.
Oh, I do, because it's so hard to stay motivated during this freaking thing. Obviously, your Zooms and lives are great. They're a great boost for people. But like, how are you yourself keeping motivated? Like, you know, I think people rub off other people's energies as well. But obviously, I know you're a trainer, you have to. But do you have your down days, Leanne? Do you find it hard some days to be like, oh,
Oh goodness, absolutely. And I'd say every trainer in the world will tell you that if they found the solution to selling motivation, that it would be, you'd be like, that's it, shut up, stop, you don't have to work a day in your life again.
yeah,
Motivation for everybody dwindles. I think for me, having, you know, the online classes and for, so not for me, because that's I have to be there, I'm the trainer. So the people that are in the classes, I think what's happening with people is if you just designate time, even if like you're not, say, a live workout with someone, you're doing your own workout at home, designate a time to doing it. Designate a space. Don't just, you know, grab the weights and throw them into some space. Like, try and create your own space within your house. Because that's just going to give you that little bit of more of a kick to go and get it done. Sometimes the live times for all these workouts that people are doing now don't suit you, and you're doing like catch up or playback or whatever it is that you're doing. Still, like, choose 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and say, no, it's live at that time. We've got to start at that time, and then it's going to motivate you to keep on going. Right now, like everything has just been turned on its head. People's motivation on a good day would dwindle and be great, and now it's even tougher. But the two things that I found that help the most would be to designate your certain time and stick to it. Like, literally get out your diary, open up your page and say 11 a.m. workout for 30 minutes, and keep it like you would any appointment, like all the appointments we wish we could do right now.
Yeah, like your hair.
Don't cancel on it. Like, keep it as any appointment and keep that time. And as I said, the second one was creating that space for a workout. So if you're doing a workout in the corner of a really cramped room, or the room's really messy around you, or whatever it is, you're not going to want to go into that room and do the workout. Create your space. Take a few minutes even to create space. If it's a thing that you have to, like, obviously there's loads of people living in your household and that you have to have a smaller space, still take the time to create it. Maybe move out a chair and table out of the room so that you can have that little bit of extra space for yourself. So space and creating your dates in your diary and your times in your diary.
So like creating a habit.
Little things we can do at the moment, which is just crazy.
Yeah, and I think we're all in like the flight or fight mode anyway, because we're all just running off adrenaline. It's not normal at all. So anything we can do, I think, is great. You know, I'm just seeing a couple of questions coming in there. Leanne's amazing and always has been. Her aunt is doing my wedding hair.
Ah, my Auntie Mary.
Yeah, that's so funny.
She done my wedding hair as well. She was at the wedding, so she done mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love your page and workouts. Did you find yourself under pressure to be a certain size on your wedding day? Struggling with pressure to be a certain level of fit health? That's not true. Like, for my wedding, generally quite fit and active, but with COVID, finding the structure of life just more relaxed. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you can do your bit.
I would have to agree with you on that. For my own wedding, did I find it? I didn't feel a pressure really. Obviously, I mean, as brides, we all want to look good. Like, that's totally fine. But like, it's for me, no, there definitely wasn't a pressure. I can understand that people want to do that little bit extra in the lead up to it. I totally understand that. But I'd encourage people not to kind of focus on, say, the 6 weeks prior, the 8 weeks prior, 12 weeks prior, whatever it is. Start now. Like, why would you not want to start to be fitter, healthier, feel better in your skin, feeling stronger? All of these things are going to contribute to the mentality of, you know, like, I'm fabulous. And that is what you want to feel on the day. Fabulous. And I just think that if fitness, good nutrition, exercising isn't a part of your life right now, make a little bit of time for it. Like, this is
why we have the time.
Opportunity. Exactly. Make a little bit of a habit out of it. Make it your daily routine. Nothing to do with fitness, but I started a daily routine a year ago now of reading every day. And 12 months later, of 28 books on my red bookshelf, I feel wonderful. I've learned so much from them. My mind is expanded. I feel fabulous. Fitness, if it's the thing you want to engage into your life, set your time that you're going to do it every day and just commit to that. Give yourself a challenge. Commit to it. Say, for the month of April, I'm definitely going to try and work out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I'm setting myself that challenge, a personal challenge. Maybe tell your best friend, maybe tell your husband to be. You know, and stick to that. And then more often than not, you will find that by the end of that 30 days, you will be like, yes, I'm going to keep this going. I'm feeling wonderful. I can see the benefit.
Yeah. It's really motivating me right now. I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go. Actually, thanks for hosting.
Like Loda did a little well, I'm going to do a workout, so get ready. No.
Yeah, I know, could you imagine? Could we ask Leanne what brand of activewear does she recommend if I'm struggling to find the right comfortable clothing? Good one.
I love the New Dimensions Active. I'm actually wearing it now.
Yeah, that top is gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest. They do sports bras that I find are great for support. They have fabulous little tops. I don't really like to trade in bras or anything like that. I like fuller tops. So they do lovely tops that are kind of nice and tight fitting, and their leggings are the dream. So New Dimensions are probably my favorite, closely followed by Lululemon.
Yes, I love Lululemon. I've been doing I've been doing Leanne's classes lift since December. It's great because you can catch up in your own time so much there. I love them so much. She has so much energy, and her song choices are great.
Ah, guys, shapers.
All compliments.
We went online with the classes, just like obviously we own gyms, so that's my husband and I.
Yeah.
Partner Jay as well, and obviously those in the last 12 months have been closed for 8 of those last 12 months, so we had to just reinvent and start something new. So last March, I think we started the Lift Live classes on Instagram. We did those for 4 months, 3 days a week, and then I finished them and went back to working in the gym, and then so many people reached out saying they'd like to keep them going, so we started them again in October. And whether you're doing that class or there's so many amazing classes available right now online. I know that there's amazing yoga classes. I do them myself at home every week. Whatever you're doing, again, it gives you a little bit of routine, gives you a little bit of a motivation. Yes, it's tough to get going in your own home, but if you can just take those couple of little tips I gave you at the start, I do think that those will go a long way in helping you to create some sort of routine. And I'm always throwing out challenges, so you can take part in those as well.
Jump on. Okay, I won't keep you too much longer. Let me see. There was just 1 or 2 things that I saw. I suppose what was coming in as well was in relation to nutrition and this bridal glow. Again, like diet, I suppose water is a big thing.
Yes, water is always a big thing, and I'm useless at it. I have my glass of water here and it's still full. I'm useless at it. You can't be great at water, don't worry. But certainly for before my own wedding, that was something I really concentrated on. Not even just, for the hydration of the body, but also for obviously the skin, which all went out the window as soon as we went over to Marbella 5 days before the wedding and ended up going out every single night, which is not ideal for a bride to be.
I know, that's what I'm dreading for. Like,
look, it was a once in a lifetime.
Be hungover the morning of the wedding.
So yeah, I mean, the nutrition side of things, to be honest with you, I worked with a trainer myself leading up to the wedding. And the reason I worked with the trainer was to take the thinking out of it for me, because it's so much easier. And I would say this to anybody actually as well. So if you could find somebody that does a one-on-one clientele in the lead up to a wedding, it would be an amazing investment for you. So you're going to spend money on things like your skincare, you're going to spend money on obviously your dress and your shoes. You have to figure out for you where the spend is, you know, for you basically. For me, my shoes weren't that important because I don't like heels. So I went with a basic pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Whereas my best friend was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're not wearing a designer pair of shoes under your, they're going to be runners after I've come up the aisles. So
yeah.
Deciding where the spend is for you. And if being and feeling wonderful from the inside out is important to you, I would say definitely think about having a little bit of spend for a trainer. That trainer is going to put you on the right path with your nutrition and with your exercise. Keep you motivated. It's the trainer's job to keep you motivated. Keep you motivated to go. And if you can dish out that little bit more for that one-to-one experience, it's going to stand by you. It's going to stand to you.
Yeah, I have to say I started personal training 2 years ago, and oh my God, like just even in my body and strength and stuff like that, and it was the best money I ever spent.
And you learn the things that are good for your body. A good trainer is going to like teach you to fish rather than stand there fishing for you for the rest of your life.
And push you on another level that you would never push yourself.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, perfect. Any tips or anything else you want to say to the brides who are all struggling at the minute before you go? Obviously, Leanne Moore Fitness on Instagram, amazing, and love your lives as well. But like, any tips or anything else you want to say to the gals?
I just want to say, first of all, just enjoy this time. I know this is the most cliche thing anybody could say, but you need to live in every single moment of it. Like, all I want to do is do it again. All I want to do. So I know it can be stressful, and you know, wedding planning can be stressful without COVID. So I can't imagine the stress that it is now. But if you could just in some way be able to release what you don't have control of right now and just enjoy every facet of the excitement that you can be a part of with your family, with your friends, with your husband to be. We have husbands on here, sorry, with your brides. That would be my single biggest thing to say to you all, because there's not one thing when you look back, you won't remember the times that you found it tough, if you know what I mean, or you found things crazy or difficult. You'll only remember all the wonderful things. So create more of those memories if you can.
Oh, love that. Leanne, thank you so much. And I know you're busy. Heading off to do something else.
My yoga teacher training now.
But thank you so much. And you're just fab. And I really appreciate it. And you're just as lovely in real life. So it's fabulous. So thanks.
Have a wonderful morning, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Leanne. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okie dokie. It's time to chat all things wedding invitations. Annie, how are you? I'm just going to unmute you there, and I am going to get you to pop on the video. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can everyone else hear me a bit better now? Sorry about that. I think, Lisa, thank you for that. I think I had the speakers on the spotlight, so it blurred me out a little bit. But thank you so much. And apologies again for the mayor at the start. I was freaking out. Anyone that was on was like, oh. So I didn't have enough. You have to pay for Zoom to get extra participants. It's actually very expensive. To get like extra people on and stuff like that. So it's lovely to see everyone here. So thanks so much for jumping on. And Annie, how are you?
I'm good. I went through my laptop, my iPad, and my phone this morning trying to get through. I was like, is it me?
Yeah,
so
and I was like, no, it's just you.
iPad on my profile. It's like, sorry. Yeah. I do have a login, but I just stayed when I got through.
Yeah, because some of the other girls are on, and I was like, no, that's not me. But anyway, it's lovely to see you. But thanks so much. And yeah, I'm dying to chat all things invites because it's such a big part of weddings. And I think obviously with COVID, I hate saying the word, but with that thrown in, it does put a spanner in your invites and your
Oh, it does.
and your guest list and your numbers and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So tell us anyway, firstly about your business.
Okay, well, I set it up, well, I should probably start at the beginning. I'm a graphic designer, maybe more than 10 years, and nobody really kind of knows much of my background. I don't, you know, it's like a CV, you're nearly advertising, but I think my idea was born, I don't know if many people know, I was the marketing manager and the senior graphic designer of Carrick Dunn, So there was 32 stores at the time. So I did all the design for those, social media, the website, radio advertising and TV3 advertising. So between all of these, you had to keep the same tone of voice. And I really, really enjoyed that challenge. So it's the same with weddings and events, that you have to keep the same tone of voice for couples. So I really enjoy, that's what I kind of enjoy, is kind of seeing from invite, that I think that's what's kind of started me off. I hated seeing just a standalone invite, and I was like, you know, then they have a random mass booklet, everything was so not personal and everything was cream. Does everyone just remember the horrible fonts? And I was like, come on, there has to be more options out there. So everyone remember them kind of colors. It was like, I remember 10 years ago I had a job, my first ever graphic design job, and it was Lance Stationery. And now I know they're still going now and they've advanced and everything since, but I remember this one big thick folder, and that's the only options you had 10 years ago. And it was all cream, and you had so many different checklists of fonts. And I was like, oh, you know, when you're a designer, you can do anything you want. So have fun with it. So I
also a marketer, totally get you. Sorry.
Yeah, well, and then so I decided after numerous jobs and different fields, I was like, I grew up in a self-employed home, and so did my husband, so it was never too far-fetched to become self-employed.
Okay.
So in 2018 I set up, and in 2018 I also became engaged. So I kind of was I was my own client as well, so kind of seen. And I think Terry McAvoy, only for her, basically, she started off the whole business. I got her straight away.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic.
Were incredible. Do you want to chat a little bit about her design and that, and kind of what she went with?
Yeah, I actually have it here. So this was actually the box.
Yeah, that's stunning.
Well, everything was custom made. So from the box itself was actually made to its size. We ordered, I won't take any of the credit because it was all her idea, and a lot of companies turned her down and said no, they couldn't do it. Okay. So I remember from her save the date, we're out, and I was like, no, I'd love to see what her invites are like. And we just started chatting, and she was like, can you do this? So this was her idea, was the actual box and the glass bottle, and there's actually and hand-picked shells in Mullingar on a tiny beach. Yeah, me. That's how far I will go for you.
Oh my god! And how many invites roughly were done of those ones?
90. I think I did a few extra, obviously, when you're working with glass. I did a lot of, but you have to. I was working with her while she was in Australia, so it was all samples and working over, you know, emails and things like that, and trying to get samples and stuff. But I mean, that's what you kind of go through with a bespoke job. You kind of, and we worked so far in advance that it was perfect by the time she had to send them out. You know, we had kind of fine-tuned all the problems.
Yeah, no, I do remember seeing them there. Wowzer. And I've just seen the background there, and you've gorgeous table plans. So do you do these as well, or? Yeah,
that's actually our own table plan.
Oh, it's fab, isn't it?
Yeah. So there was two of them. We had Kilronan, we got married in Kilronan Castle. So I just designed two of them. When you're the designer, I can kind of do what I want. So it was just, there was two different areas. One was when you came into the reception, and the other was down in the actual ballroom. So I just made two of them. Okay. So amazing. Yeah, so it's just have fun with it.
Fab. So you work on table plans and invites, and is there other areas? I know, congratulations, you've a gorgeous wedding planner journal out as well, which is absolutely fabulous. So congrats.
Oh, thanks a million. It's been 2 years in making.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. If anyone actually hasn't got that, it's really gorgeous, and there's loads of tips from lots of suppliers in Ireland. So is it custom to what people want, Annie, or what do people go to? What kind of ideas do we? Because I wouldn't know where to begin. Like, I mean, it's obviously a theme or something that people have in their head that they want, maybe, and then use the invites around that. That'd be right.
Well, I know well, what I specifically do is I offer pre-designed wedding stationery. So there's collections already pre-made. So if it's just you've seen something you liked, just go with those. And that's it. You just fill in your information and it gets posted out to you. Everything is online with me. I just have a website. So it's anniedesign.ie. So there's different collections there, and there is I can't remember. I think there's 23 items in each collection. And that's from save the date, invite, accommodation, directions, mass booklets, menus, table numbers, place names, table plans, signs, dress tags. These are all the things that come in a collection. I see. Any tips on how to word an invite, is it?
This is the thing, and I suppose that's what we were going to chat about. So obviously if people need to drop their numbers and might have sent invites, what would you be suggesting there? Or, you know, it's hard to know with that one.
It's really hard because it depends on when your wedding is, first of all. And I have actually one here, and I'll just cover her name. Hold on, I'll just cover, I don't want to show her name. There's one here, the wording, I'll just read it to you anyway, but basically it was together with the parents, request the pleasure and the company of, and then join them in celebrating their marriage, and they leave open the date because they're still going to get their invites printed. I assume they just don't want the stress of that also, getting something last minute. So they've got what they wanted. Okay. So they just left open, completely blank, the date. And then the ceremony is, they say the ceremony and the time, because realistically, you're not going to be changing those. They're all right. It's just the date. So, and they've left off the RSVP date as well. So basically the date of the wedding is the only thing left blank. That's the first invite that I've had to do like that, just so the stress level.
Ordered a certain amount, or is that not even in process yet?
To be honest, no, it's printed and they're done. They've gone with their ideal amount. So it's either they lose and like, it's not as expensive as you think. That invite on its own wouldn't have been that expensive. If you had got the whole shebang of accommodation, directions, I'll show you. But if you had gone with a whole package, which that's where the money adds up, do you know?
Yeah, of course.
So for them, they that's what they did, because and then other people are going what guidelines are in at the moment, do you know? But I just think you're better off safe than sorry. And if it's another €50 or if it's another €70, you're better off having peace of mind that they're there ready to go.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Is there a popular invite specifically? Like, I mean, is it just, do people usually go with the whole shebang, or is there something set that people go with? I don't know. It's just one of the questions that came in as I shared them.
Well, I miss wedding fairs, because you really were down in the nitty-gritty of all the brides, and you got to chat and you kind of got a grasp of what everyone wanted. Whereas, but we all know before COVID, it was becoming a whole weekend. It wasn't just the invite. It wasn't just the day. So there was always information pre-wedding and after wedding. So it became a package. So that's where there's usually day two. So I usually did an invite a day two. So it was kind of like a package. You know, there was a good few bits in it, but then that's where things add up. So that's where I'd like to kind of advise brides, is to be aware of things that say, oh, I was quoted only this much. Yeah, that you were quoted something for maybe just the invite on its own. So and like weddings online, you know, that website Weddings Online, they say that €379 is the average expenditure for invites, but that's just the invite. That doesn't include postage, your stamps, so that's €1, and you can say an average wedding was 120 people. That's €120 extra on the 379. And then if you're getting day two, accommodation, directions, that's where things add up and people are, you know, thrown by. So I kind of like to let people know, and when I'm working with them, I take exactly everything they foresee that they need as well. because I do all in one go. So I do their mass booklets, I do their menus, everything in one go. So everything is, and like, it's less stress. Everything is just printed, done, and tucked under the bed for the wedding. You know.
Oh, fab. Someone's just asked, and I'm eager to see as well. So, how long before a destination wedding to send a save the date and then send the actual invite? And myself and Sue will kind of touch on destination weddings as well in a while. But we sent our save the dates like a good year now beforehand, I'd say. Like, we really did, you know, because it was away. But obviously we're hemming and hawing there, you know, at Christmas as to whether to postpone or not. But then for the actual invite, roughly what would you be thinking, Annie?
Well, obviously pre-COVID, I think definitely things have changed now since. Everything is left a lot closer. But just say before,
no one has plans to do anything else, so they're all free.
Yes.
It's
I'd say before, and like, we will return to it, like, we will. There's, you know, into 22, I think some normality will have returned. Don't know about, you know, numbers and things like that, but I'd say the timing and things like that I advise people is always, you'd be 3 months before your wedding, because I actually have it in the We Do Wedding diary as well, is think backwards. So and it's all based around money also, but right, your wedding date starts on whatever time. You have to pay the event by a certain amount with a certain amount of people. So when do you realistically think you're going to have all your numbers? And then add another little bit, because we're Irish and nobody comes on time. You know, everyone has, you know, doesn't answer a deadline. So that's when and then add a good month and a half for design. So to get them printed, and then add 2 weeks for writing them. Do you know? So add as much time as you want. And I always work 6 months out from a wedding.
Okay.
So, but I for a destination, I would add that little bit extra, because you want to give people time.
Yeah.
So for it would be 3 months for a normal wedding. You know, some people say 8 weeks, but I did 3 months. I was very early, and I wasn't stressed out then getting your speeds and numbers.
Yeah,
you know, and then destination.
Especially destination, like, you really need to know numbers wise, and we'll be chatting about that too as well. It's just to kind of get an average idea. If someone wants to know, do you do online creations for invites? Say if people are doing like email invites, or I don't know, via WhatsApp. Do you do graphic design for things like that?
To be honest, I don't. Like, I can. It's a bespoke thing, but I can. But to be honest, most of my clients are for printed, and I think it's a traditional thing. So I still think that invites will always be printed, even though we're in a digital area. I just think weddings are drenched in just tradition. You know, so I still think people still want a printed thing.
I agree, yeah, definitely. Is there any trends that you're seeing for 2021? Probably postponing dates.
Yeah, well, 20 is gone. I don't even know what trends there was.
I know, there was no trend.
Friends was watching the news going, how many numbers? But style-wise, see, this again, I miss the kind of shows to be asking what do brides actually want. But on the other end, I love my job so much that I kind of always looking at, you know, what's new, what can I do, what can I get? Like, I follow everyone from New York events to Australian designers, so I kind of see what's kind of already out there and kind of try and see what I can do, you know, as an Irish designer. So, and I really enjoy trying to get Irish things, like Irish paper, or use Irish printers, or so. And even now I'm actually on maternity leave, so yeah, I had a girl just 8 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Congrats.
Well, excuse the bags under my eyes, and my mother's downstairs babysitting.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. But even now, I'm still thinking about buying machinery. Like, if you might the state of this office, but there's different machinery. Like, I just like to experiment and see what's out there and offer just fun, unusual stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, and I think everyone knows my style at this stage. It's kind of, you know, I love Laura Ashley, Ted Baker kind of florals, and then just pure minimalist type of style. So if that's your style, then I'm perfect for you, you know. But and then bespoke wise, I can do what you want, you know.
Yeah.
So you can come to me with an idea. So trends wise, there's certain things like, I think velvet is definitely coming in. It didn't get to play its part in 2020 because that was definitely coming in expensive, but the transparency thing is still in, you know, like everyone is either going glass or this kind of thing. But you have to try and like, yeah, they look beautiful on Pinterest, but think the logistics. Are you going to hand out? Yeah, like, there's certain things that I see that, you know, I just think they're not realistic for an Irish wedding, considering we have so many guests. You know, perfect for a tiny wedding in England or something.
But I suppose like the day of the massive weddings is probably gone for a little while, like as well. So you can kind of go all out with, you know, you were probably planning for a big wedding, but now you can use whatever you have, or if you had budget wise to go really bespoke and really nice with your invites as well. So there's cost plus, like, you know, isn't there?
Exactly. Like, I think I always designed my collections with budget in mind, because at the end of the day, you wanted beautiful stuff, but you wanted to be able to afford it. Whereas things have changed and numbers have changed. I'm unfortunate. My business depended on quantity, not, you know, like a makeup artist or a photographer just turned up and, you know, they got their fee. Whereas mine was based on quantity. So now at this stage, I can kind of enjoy and go all out and, you know, just give them really quality stuff rather than quantity of things.
Yeah, fab. Okay, some more questions. If someone was getting married next May, how much notice would they need to give you?
I'm actually back. I'm actually glad you asked this, because I wanted to say I'm back off maternity in the 1st of August. So that's suitable for any November, December weddings, really. Cutting it tight with November, but I always work 6 months out. And I'm actually opening the next round of bookings is going to be on the 14th of June. So that's when I'm opening the diary again too. So all inquiries, you know, will start on the 14th of June. And just bear in mind, there's only a few per month. Now that I have a little girl downstairs, I kind of have to get myself in. So there's only a limited amount. So I would say work 6 months out from your wedding, and don't panic if 1 month is booked up, because certain ones are booked up, unfortunately, now because of 2020 weddings have moved on to 21. So some months are booked up already, but I'll be advertising that on social media. But the diary is opening again on the 14th of June.
Okay, fab. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And it's Annie Design on Instagram. If you aren't already, definitely go over and have a look at the collection and everything. The work is amazing. Attention to detail. But thank you so much. And
no problem. Thanks so much for asking me.
Not at all.
You too.
And enjoy your mat leave and your chill out time before it all gets busy again.
I will. Thanks so much, Sinead.
Not at all. Mind yourself. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Okay, we have the lovely Grania next. Grania.
Hello.
Hi. Grania was so calm when I was freaking out earlier on. I was like,
I was telling her about the grass cutter outside, telling them to go away for a few hours so the Zoom is over.
I love that you can get away with that down there. Would you mind just going somewhere else for a few minutes to cut the grass? You're so welcome, and it's so lovely to have you on. I feel like I know you so well.
Honor.
Have we ever met in real life?
No, I don't think we actually have, but it actually feels like we have.
Like we're besties.
Hi, Raya.
I'm good. I'm really looking forward to this today, because it's just been hard. And you know what? These are always a lovely distraction for just 2 hours, and it's just lovely to see faces on here and, you know, just have the lovely chats and try and distract yourself from everything.
Of course. And come here, are you more content now? Made the decision? Happy? Was it a relief?
Yeah, I am, but I'm still dying on the inside. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's killing me to have had to postpone, because I was so positive all along as well. I think people were feeding off that, you know, and you kind of feel like you're letting everyone else down, like, because people are hanging on to any little thing. But I was reading some headlines this morning, and they're still working at having 80% vaccinated by June.
So amazing.
It can only get better, you know, like
exactly. But it's all positive today here. It's amazing.
Positive vibes. But Grania, tell us about yourself anyway, and your background, and you know where you're based.
Okay, so I'm originally from Donegal. So I I suppose in Donegal, I was so lucky to have so many weddings growing up. I went to 54 weddings, I counted, between like up until like 18 years old. So it's mad. And I've always had that love and the crack. And Donegal weddings is huge. Like my brother had 450 at his wedding. Like that would be my nightmare. But
I wouldn't even know that many people. I'd be inviting everyone on Instagram. Like, come on.
And I've always had that graw for it. And when my sister got married, sure, I was nearly planning it for her, and I was in secondary school, and I've always been into events. So I went to college to be a home ec teacher, actually. Yeah, and that's where I met a lot of your nursing friends in St. Angela's. And that wasn't for me. I was more interested. I was the events officer for the college. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I went home, started working in hospitality in 2007. And ever since, I've just been engrossed in events and weddings. So for the past 6 years now, I'm the wedding coordinator in the Armada in Spanish Point. And I just love it. It's just so lovely. We have a beautiful location. We aim to have over 100 weddings every year. So I've been so lucky to be like involved in planning over 600 weddings now, and meeting every couple and building that relationship and having the crack with them, and a million WhatsApp groups between all of them. But I'm making loads of friends in the end up. It's lovely. I love it.
Yeah, you're fab. Someone just said Southeast Woman wearing a Donegal man guest list is good. Sure, I know, like the guest team and the parish, and
yeah, exactly. We actually had a Kilcar man get married in Armada around Christmas time, and they were planning to get married in June, and then they postponed. And he was like, Jeannie Mac, he was like, you know, everybody was meant to be here, and I'm like, I know, but they had them on Zoom, and we had the best to crack all night long. It was good.
Donegal weddings are literally lit. Okay, so we'll get stuck in. We have a couple of questions, Grania.
Okay.
And I know you kindly sent me over some as well, stuff that you're most asked. And I suppose the big one is like trying to get a venue now in a pandemic when you can't actually go to places.
Yeah, it is difficult at the moment. Like the easiest thing possible is probably to get married in normal times, and now it's become the biggest task. And the excitement, and you're probably waiting years for him or her to go down on that knee, and now you have the ring and you want to start the planning. Looking at the venue is probably the most important part at the very beginning, because it bases your dates and, you know, the theme of your wedding, the style of your wedding. When you're looking at venues at the moment, I know so many are doing Trojan work with virtual show rounds and things like that. But before you go into researching and emailing every single million one of them, or logging on to Weddings Online and putting in your contact forms, it's important to sit back and have a chat together. There's no point in reaching out to a venue that has minimum numbers of 200 or 150 when you want a smaller type wedding. So definitely sit down first of all and put your information together. What season do you think you want? What year are you thinking? Do your guest list. Roughly what numbers are you looking for? Are you okay with a weekend wedding, a Friday and Saturday? Is that all you're looking at? Are you looking at a midweek wedding for like the midweek discounts as a possibility now? Yeah. Like I know when you're looking back in photographs of weddings, you're not saying, oh, did you get married on a Monday or a Tuesday? You're looking at the day. You know, it doesn't actually matter what day of the week it is. Look at the times of year. You know, is there festivals on in that their area around that time? Prices will be higher. Yeah, football, the FLA, exams, leaving cert, junior certs, in years to come. You know, if you've brothers and sisters and things like that, that might come into play. But put it all together. Do you want a ceremony on site? Do you want a church? And then write it all down and say, okay, we want to get married in 2023. We want a spring wedding. We want a Friday and a Saturday. We're looking at 200, and we want a ceremony on site. And then do your research. And email all this to the venues, because you find if you only give them limited amount of information, then they're only going to give you limited, and they're going to have 10 emails going back and forth when you can get everything in the first email back. And it just saves the back and forth for so long. But research is key. Look at the websites, look online, look at their social medias, their galleries. Word of mouth from friends as well is really helpful. There's loads of forums online. But then once you're happy, reach out, do the virtual show rounds. Meeting them on them Zooms and things is really important. The point of contact in the venue itself is really important because they're the ones that are going to be with you part of that journey. So you'll find that click with them. And if you don't, maybe that's not the right place for you, because you really need to bond with that their person that's in that venue, because they're with you every step of the way. And then it's just kind of putting together then the budget and things like that, and what you're looking for, and what suits you. Don't put yourselves above it all. You know, step back. You don't have to book it on the spot, and they will put pressure on you. We are salespeople at the end of the day, but we all have hearts at the end of the day. So don't feel pressurized. You know, take a step back. We'll think about it. We'll get back in touch. I find a lot of places are like, do you want to put down a deposit? Oh, there's another person interested. There's other dates. Calm down.
Yeah, no, that's very good advice. I love this question here, and I think it could probably resonate with a lot of people. Like tips for planning the wedding when you've kind of lost all interest. Like, what can you be doing? Like, you know, people have pushed it out, and like I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, yeah. So I know that's keeping me going, but like, there is stuff you could be pottering away and doing, like, isn't there?
There's so much time, and like in the lead up to the wedding, I find so many couples are stressed, even in the midst of organizing it for 25 and like the 50 when we had it last August. Like, organization is key, and the more you do in the lead up, the more enjoyment you will get out of that week beforehand. Like, that last week is full of the joys, and you know, it's about, you know, catching up via Zoom, or you know, hopefully getting our nails and makeup and all the treatments done. But it's also about taking time out for you to enjoy and embrace all those moments. People want to catch up and see you, and have the laughs, and your immediate family are around you, and that week will fly. So I have a list of everything, and I'm going to fly through it really, really quickly. So this will get the love back into it, and use this time wisely. So think about your music, your ceremony music. Have you thought about any songs that you might like? Your entrance song, I have a Spotify playlist, link is in the bio. There's 140 entrance songs there for every season from Christmas onwards. Your first dance song, like, think of all these little moments. And look, at if we can't have live music on the day, why not have your first dance after the ceremony when your live musicians are there at ceremonies? Because some ceremony musicians are allowing to play now at the moment. So that might be something. Break in your shoes. Try on your earrings. Sometimes people leave this to the very last minute, and they try them on in the morning of the wedding, and then they have them big red earlobes. So make sure and try on the earrings. Table names, if you're thinking about like personalizing the day a little bit more, why not theme your tables? I know we had different places that were really important to us. And kind of other people then do like bottles of whiskey, or name the bottles of gin and put the gin bottles on the tables, so you can start drinking gin and whiskey and empty the bottles and put them on the tables as well. Addresses for invites. This is a big thing now that you could be doing. You know, that's always a big time consumer afterwards when you're trying to put the invites together, and the addresses do take time. So why not put them all together now in a little Excel sheet, or the email addresses if you're thinking about that. And just have those ready, and have a sponge ready. If you don't have self-seal envelopes for the invites, make sure you have a wee sponge, because otherwise you'll have no tongue left by the end of the invites. Your contact emergency sheet. So this is very, very important. Even with smaller intimate weddings, you need to relax on the day and hand everything over. So your emergency contact sheet is a sheet where you write down everybody who's involved. So your bridal party, the parents of the page boy, parents of the flower girl, all your suppliers, their point of contacts, their phone numbers, and you will send this to everyone, to all your suppliers. Have one up in the fridge at home, have one framed beside your timeline on the day. And these are all things that you can do now, because you more than likely will have a lot of suppliers booked already. So it's a matter of just putting it all together on one sheet, and then your chief bridesmaid can have that on the day, or your most responsible person that's around you in the morning, and they can take full control of that. Your playlist for the morning of the wedding, your scented candles, have the party going in the morning, have that atmosphere there. It's lovely. We've one on the Spotify playlist as well. if you're really starting off, an inspo board, an inspiration board, or even if you're halfway through it, we are so excited to be launching a really exciting workshop. We're launching it next Thursday with Kate Ashton, and it's all about a wedding vision board and putting the love back into your wedding.
Oh my God, are you doing that? No way.
Yeah, so we're launching it limited spaces, and it's going on next Thursday. So that's an exclusive for everybody
oh my God,
here.
I definitely have to do that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So
I did one of her classes last year, and I was putting stuff up as well, like personal vision boards for work and stuff like that. Like, amazing.
Yeah, and you know, it's just to rethink it. I think people's priorities, and that's one good thing that's come out of COVID at the moment, is people can reimagine their wedding. Maybe they were pressurized, maybe they were put under pressure by families to have these people invited and then people invited. Maybe you were under pressure because your friend had a flower wall and you need a flower wall now. It's your wedding. You can do what you want. So reimagine it. Look at your visions, look at your priorities and what's important to you. So that's what we'll be focusing in on next Thursday when we talk about that. Dance lessons. I'm sure Eamon might need a wee dance lesson or two now, a wee jiving lesson.
2 lessons. I'm not great myself.
It's great for that.
I've just seen Siobhail's comment there, Kate and Grania, the dream team. Absolutely, like that's such a good idea. Oh my God.
Then other things would be like your readings, your poems, your ceremony, the most important part of the day. Make it about you. Get your ribbons organized.
I'm writing these all down.
Oh, slideshow. Some people leave this the last minute, like they're pulling together photographs. If any bridal party people are here today, get the photographs together, get wee messages together, maybe put a wee slideshow together. Mass booklets, ceremony booklets are always left the last minute. They can be done, put in a box underneath, don't put a date in them, don't put people's names in them, don't put songs on them, just put a little symbol, happy out. We've templates on the website you can download, you can make them yourself, and it's really, really handy.
They're brilliant.
Gifts for the bridal party, you know, get your baskets ready, you know.
I'm getting stuff along the way for the bridesmaids.
Yeah, you know, and don't leave this to last minute. Get your emergency bag sorted, get your chalk for your stains on the dress in the morning of the wedding, get your water wipes, put them all under the bed in the spare room and have it all together. There's loads more, like there's so much you can be doing, so please utilize this. There's a full IGTV on the page and a way that you can look at that has everything on it.
You're deadly, oh my God. Let me see. Oh yes, videographer, because this comes up the whole time. Now, me personally, I am like all for a videographer, because like there's so much you're not going to see, and like photos amazing to have, but those little reactions or those emotions, like I would give up loads of other stuff. I'd give up my shoes. But like, you know, I think anyway.
Definitely. I always wanted a videographer. It wasn't part of our budget, never. We prioritized in our venue, and the package was really, really expensive at the time, but that's what we wanted. We want that wow. We were never actually having a wedding. We were having a party with friends and family. We never called it a wedding. And it was always that theme that we always came back to. What is it all about? That was always our quote that we always came back to. And I remember it was about like 6 months before the wedding, and we're sitting here at the kitchen table, and he said, I don't want to be the reason or the regret that you didn't get the videographer. So if you can find one, let's just splurge out and get it.
Yeah.
And 100%, it's the bestest thing we've ever done. I would be lost. I've watched it about 20 times, like never get sick of it. Dad has since passed, haven't been able to watch it yet, but I know in time I will be so grateful to have it for those moments. And there's so many things that we missed on the day that we didn't even see, and like the reactions of them walking into the room, like we didn't see that, or having the crack of the drinks reception when we were getting photos. Like I had a girl there last week on Instagram, she messaged me and she's like, look, we only have €600, the one we want is 1,200. So we had a call, we had a consultation, we looked at her budget, you know, we said, look, here's a photo booth, here's your videographer. What's important to you? You know, maybe the photo booth is really important to some people,
Yeah.
but for others, you know, you might have a friend go around and take photographs, have your props there, but you might have an actual photo booth.
Of course.
You know, she budgeted €200 for the dress for the next day. I'm like, hello, H&M, ASOS, let's go.
No, yeah.
So we got it, and we got the dream videographer with just nitpicking at a few different things where she budgeted like €500 for a sweet cart. You know, make your own, you know, reevaluate, relook at things. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's really good tips, really good advice. Okay, last question. Will we touch a little bit on celebrant ceremonies? Because that's what you do as well.
Yes. So my good friend was getting married 4 years ago, and she really wanted somebody just to do a personalized, fun ceremony to reflect the two of them. They're very much involved in music. They're both in samba bands and things, and they just find it hard to find somebody that would incorporate their different elements. So I was delighted to do the course with IIOC and get my qualifications. And we did a beautiful ceremony, and we made it all about them. And you know, they exchanged tunes on the samba drums to each other, and then they exchanged rings, and they made it all about them. So for me, a ceremony is meant to be about the couple. So normally when I meet each couple, we have a quick 10-minute consultation at the beginning, but about 3 months before the wedding, we hopefully would be meeting in person. And if not, it's normally the evening time on Zoom when they can have a drink or two and relax. And we have a questionnaire, and it's about the fun. It's like, where did you meet? And, you know, who's the better chef? And what drinks do you drink? And what's your favorite song? And any memorable moments, had you holidays? And I get to know them, and I get the ins and outs. And sometimes it might be, oh, we met in Tinder, but you can't mention that in the day. And, you know, it's the fun elements. And we craft the ceremony. And, you know, I say, do you want your family involved? Do you not? Do you want enhancements? Do you want the hand fasten? Do you want ribbons? Do you want time capsules? Do you want to plant a tree? And they make it about them. Do you want to include, you know, people that may have passed? You know, we've included, you know, scarves of grannies that maybe weren't no longer with us, and we use that for the hand fasten. Make it about the couple themselves. And I suppose for me, it's all about personalizing the day.
Yeah.
Again, there is some celebrants, like, you know, some of the registrars that are very much to the point. It's a scripted ceremony. There's no changing it. There's no personalization. But for me, it's all about you putting yourselves on paper amongst your friends and family and telling your story the way you want it. We might include half of it, but you have full control over the day, whatever way you wish. But yeah, it's just lovely. I just love the ceremony, and it's the start of the celebration. So it should be a fun moment and full of laughter and a few tears maybe along the way as well.
Yeah. Oh, Grania, you're absolutely fab. Thank you so much for the chats. I sent Grania a very quick message this morning. I was like, do we have any questions? And she's saying, I'm sure we'll be well able to chat. And by God, we are.
Yeah, we are. I knew there'd be no fear of us. Sinead, thanks a million.
Not at all. Thank you. And it's Atlantic Vows on Instagram.
Atlantic Vows on Instagram, yeah.
Will you tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah, so we have one-to-one consultations. So even if you're not getting married in Armada, we do 30 minutes or 60 minutes. So if you want to talk about your day or the lead into the day, we're also launching the first workshop next week is the vision board. And then the week after, we're doing just newly engaged workshop, what to do. The budget is a 1-hour workshop. And then we're doing a 2-hour 6 months countdown to the wedding day and the week after, because so many people forget what to do the week after the wedding, especially the day after. So they'll be launching in 2 weeks time, hourly and 2-hourly workshops. So yeah, tune over, and if you need any help, just give us a DM.
Thank you so much, Grania. You're a legend.
Chat to you soon.
Bye. Thank you. She's so fab. Now it's time to chat destination weddings. Dun, dun, dun. Where is my lovely Sue? Hi, Sue. You just need to unmute yourself. Hold on. Hello.
Hello. How are you, my lovely bride?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You got sorted in the end. It's all right.
We got sorted. Yeah, no, we got sorted.
That's okay. That's okay.
We have lots to chat about. I feel like we haven't chatted since we postponed. It was just a bit mad, but you were amazing, and I haven't kind of gotten into it. Like, I haven't gotten into it kind of online and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely a nice opportunity to chat about everything. But tell us about yourself first, where you're based, what you do, etc.
So I live in Dublin. I live in Portmarnock. I'm an Irish wedding planner. I planned a lot of weddings here in Ireland, but always wanted to dip my toe into doing destination weddings.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, I just went for gold. I thought it was a great idea for me to be able to bring Spain to the couples here in Ireland rather than the couples always having to go to Spain.
Yeah.
So I started off doing weddings in Marbella, Malaga, and Nerca.
Yeah, Nerca.
And love it. Just love it.
Yeah, and so we met. We googled destination weddings and planners, and we got chatting to you, and you spent probably an hour and a half with us. I remember we were up in Donegal, and we just got chatting, and we clicked, and everything just seemed so easy and easy to manage, and you had everything very much, to hand. So I suppose to start with that, Sue, as well, is if someone gets engaged and they're thinking of planning a wedding abroad, where do they begin? So where do you start? I think that's the big thing.
The number one question. The email comes in or the phone call comes in, and a bride will say, I don't know where to start. And once that email comes to me, that is the start. So before the COVID days, I would actually go and meet as many couples as I could. Obviously can't do that now, but going on to Zoom calls has been really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I always prefer to organize an actual video call, because I feel the couple get to know me, but more importantly, I get to know the couple.
Yeah.
And that's their way of expressing themselves and telling me what their vision is, what their dream is, what they imagine for their special day. And I get to feel what their personality is on that video call. And that's where it starts.
Get to know them. So let's chat a little bit about the big C word, COVID, because obviously it's throwing a spanner in the works for travel. I mean, look, it is what it is. But
It is what it is.
The last kind of year, I suppose, 12
Yeah,
months.
Absolutely. It's been a struggle, and a struggle for everybody. And I suppose being a wedding planner, I know how you felt. You know how it felt for you. So then multiply that by 30 or 40 couples, all feeling the same horrible feeling. And, some couples giving up their dream, like their dream has always been a destination wedding. They want the week, not just the wedding. It's a week, a party, an occasion. It's a holiday, and they've dreamt of this and they've planned it all. And then sometimes, couples, families put them under a little bit of pressure. Are you getting married? You're still getting married away. And most couples have stuck with that, because the alternative was maybe having a much smaller wedding here.
Yeah.
So once I would say to the couple, look, I think we need to put a temporary date into place. That's probably the hardest decision, to get that date sorted. Once it's there and we moved the date as the time went on, and then we decided to move into that new date, that day is a horrible day.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It isn't a pleasant day. And it's, it's just, I'm looking at my couple, and they're looking back at you going, really? Do we really have to move? And you're going, yes. But that's it. Once you move, it's forward, it's planning, it's continue on. As Grania said, there is loads of things for the couples to do. But if you don't want to do, it's actually okay just to say, okay, I'm closing that book for now. I'm actually not going to look at it till next year, and I'll open it back up in January and start again.
Yeah.
So it's really a personal thing, how to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sue, how are things in Spain at the minute? Obviously, you have been chatting to your suppliers and things like that. It's obviously a difficult year for them, but how is it at the minute? Are they in complete lockdown or?
It's sunny. It's beautiful.
Warm.
it's warm and it's sunny and it just doesn't rain. So at the moment it's got much better. So they're a lot quicker with their vaccinations than we are, which is probably good. They kind of broke into different areas with their guidelines. So at the moment, where your wedding will be has now opened back up to 150 people outside and 100 people inside. So they haven't lifted their no dancing part of their ban yet, but they will. I mean, this is March, and they are hoping, very hopeful, the suppliers, that they will still have some of the summer.
Okay.
So they are very hopeful for that.
And has the government over there, because I know that's something we struggle with, and I know probably Grania would agree as well, that the weddings don't seem to be flagged here with planning, or they don't seem to be highlighted. It's just 6,
Yeah,
and there's no
yeah. We're over there. It's definitely. I mean, it's tourism is their main industry, and with that comes all the weddings. So, and they, they are doing their very best to get that industry back up and running, and they will, survive. They will get there quicker than we're getting there, but they need to survive, and so they will just do everything to get things open up again. But they will do it carefully. They are, being very careful as well. Like at the moment, you still have to wear your mask outside, which is fine. I mean, if we'd be happy enough to do that if we thought we would progress a bit quicker too. But everything is really positive going forward, and the suppliers are really excited that next year is just going to be buzzing. And
someone just said Sue's our wedding planner for Marbella 22. She's the most amazing, organised, informative, helpful, will be lost in air. I'd say Sue was fit to kill me, but she never did. Along the process, I was just having so many meltdowns. It's just been hard. It's been hard for people.
You weren't. I mean, one of your speakers, Leanne, mentioned about Finca Palma, and I've just booked that for a bride, so maybe that's the bride. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It's in Marbella. It's beautiful.
Okay, so let's chat a bit more. So say, for example, people are obviously getting married. What kind of timeline, Sue, would you be giving their guests to come out before the wedding? Like roughly, is there kind of a number of days beforehand, or is it totally individual?
So I think when you first decide that you're going to get married abroad and you book your date, it's never too soon to send out your save the date. It's not too early as soon as you book it, because people will plan around that and they will plan a holiday. So your closest friends, your bridal party and your family will try and make a holiday of that. So they will be there for a week, out playing golf, eating, drinking, no rushing around, just loving life. Then for people, your guests that are just coming in for the wedding, they'll usually come in for 3 or 4 days. So ideally, I think a wedding on a Friday is brilliant, because people will arrive on the Thursday. We will have set up somewhere gorgeous for people to meet, and for the couple to have welcome drinks with them and to kick off the celebrations. Then Friday is your wedding day. Then Saturday, the celebrations continue. And so you can have a beach party, a pool party, or a rooftop party, whatever you want to have. And then Sunday, they roll on to the flight and roll on home.
Dying.
Of course, absolutely. It's an Irish wedding, of course. Dying.
So the process for viewing venues, I know we were very keen to go out and see it, but you can do them virtually as well?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of the main reasons for doing a video call with the couple, as I said at the start. So you hear, do they want a mountain view, a sea view, a finca, a corrito, a villa? They tell you what their dream is. And from that, I create the image for them. When I discuss what venue I think suits. And then I will send them all the photographs. And I always say to the couple, when you look at the photograph, you'll feel it. You'll know straight away, that's my venue. And if you love it on a photograph, you're just going to be blown away when you actually get over and see
In
it.
real life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like you were.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is there a preference between villas or hotels for wedding receptions in Spain? It's probably very individual.
It is very individual. It'll also depend on numbers. I mean, we can do very small weddings, quite intimate weddings, just immediate family, a few friends. So you could have a wedding of 20, 25, but you can go all the way up to your big numbers of 200. It's seldom you will have the Donegal wedding of 300 and 400 people. It's nearly the reason.
I don't know
it's
even
one of,
really, though.
yeah, but it is one of the reasons that couples actually sometimes choose to go away, is if they stay, their wedding list is gone ridiculously high, whereas, you know, they can keep it down a little bit when they go to Spain.
Yeah. When to start booking accommodation for a destination wedding?
As soon as you get the date, as soon
date.
as that save the date is sent out. And some couples might say to their friends and family, we're going to base ourselves here, join us, or we just send them out a list of accommodation to choose from.
Yeah,
but they can book straight away.
Okay. And then the average number of guests that you would have seen abroad in Spain, is there an average kind of, it's probably the 100, 120, would that be right?
Your average would be between 100 and 150.
Okay.
Yeah. Some venues, their cutoff would be 130.
Okay.
And so some, you know, you might say that to the couple. So maybe, you know, they will look at their numbers. I think numbers, I always try and say, don't let the venue dictate your number.
Yeah.
Because your wedding is the people who are at it. And what makes it an Irish wedding is also the people who are at it.
Yeah.
So don't choose the venue because, and try and get the number into that. Yeah. There's a venue for everybody, and there's a venue to suit all budgets as well.
Yeah. And say if people are still hoping to go abroad for the end of the year to get married, is there any tips that you would give them? People, you know, some people are still kind of holding out, and obviously, please God, things will be going well with vaccines in the summer. Would you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have weddings in September and October still in place.
Fab.
And we just keep a close eye. I have a coordinator that works for me on the ground in Spain. And she's brilliant. And so she updates me all the time for every announcement that's there. I get it firsthand from her. So at the moment, you know, it's really, we're relying on our travel ban being lifted here.
Yeah.
You know, that it'll go ahead. So hopefully,
and when you get to Spain, is it a process of the PCR test for negative PCR test or negative COVID test when you enter?
It is at the moment, but ideally that if you were vaccinated, if you have been vaccinated, you will have that passport.
Yeah.
But you know, couples are happy enough to pay for the test as well, or ask their guests, will they pay for the test? And it's coming back very positive that they will. So that's a good thing.
And I know that they are trying to open up Europe as well. So they're looking at the digital passports from June onwards.
Yes.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. All positive stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Is there any tips or anything major that you find from your weddings down through the years that people always get worked up over, say an abroad wedding, or something that always happens that you would advise brides or give them tips before traveling? That's probably a very big question, but
no, I think there's the good things about going to Spain, besides the weather, is you get such a long long period of time for your wedding. It's a whole occasion. So you're having a holiday with, you know, your closest family and friends, and layer that with a wedding.
Yeah.
And it goes to a whole different level.
Yeah.
So it kind of, mums and dads can't do the stressing that they do here the night before the wedding and have to have all the neighbours in, and it eliminates a huge amount of stress. And when it's a destination wedding, I will have organized everything. Everything will be in place. You'll have chosen it, you know, maybe sitting on the couch drinking a glass of wine, through discussions, through photographs. So it should be really a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
And just come and enjoy the build-up of it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to everybody's opinion. It's the couple, it's to represent the couple. It's their dream. And they're doing their best to make sure that their guests have a wonderful time. And that's all they can do. If the guests don't have a wonderful time, it's something wrong with the guest.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have to enjoy it. They put a lot of money, a lot of time and effort into planning this wedding. So just enjoy it and don't be asking too many people's opinions.
Okay, that's fair enough. One more question that came in there. With destination weddings, which areas should the couple cover cost-wise for the bridal party guests? That's actually a good question, like a pre-wedding dinner. That's, I suppose, very individual. Eamon's standing here. Very interesting.
Hello, Eamon. There's my groom. How are you?
No.
Poor Eamon. Poor Eamon. Again, it's to do with, you know, your budget. I mean, it's a real Irish thing for bride and grooms to have a meal sometimes the night before their wedding with the two families. It's one of the things I kind of say in Spain, jump to that. Do it a couple of nights before, because the night before your wedding, all your friends and guests might have just arrived.
Yeah.
And they don't want you and Eamon not to be there.
Yeah.
So what to cover for your bridal party? Listen, they're going to be there for weeks, so they can't expect you to pay for that week. They're there on holiday. So it will be what you would do here, whatever gifts you're going to give to your bridesmaids and your groomsmen.
Yeah.
They don't expect anything more than that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think everyone's just starting to get away as well.
Yeah,
especially now.
Especially now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Sue, thank you so much. And
pleasure.
Sue Egan, Special Days by Sue Egan on Instagram as well. Amazing, and like no stress. Everything's calm.
Everything's calm.
Everything's under control, and I highly recommend.
Absolutely. If anybody just wants to get in touch and ask just a few questions, or, you know, even for weddings here, it's so difficult at the moment, but just everybody stay positive. It's your dream day. Stick with what is in your heart, and, you know, it will happen, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Sue. Lovely chatting to you. Lovely to see you.
Lovely chatting to you too. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Now we have, last but not least, the lovely Vanessa, who is a bride-to-be. Do we?
Hey!
Chilled out. Not a bother on you.
How are you keeping?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm grand. Sorry, Max just jumped up on me about 2 seconds ago, and he's still wet from having his bath, and my trousers are destroyed. So apart from that, I'm grand. And the angle of this camera is dirt. So I'm like, what way will I go? Can I try and conceal the double chin? Sure, feck it, it's here now. Anyway, that's the end of that.
It's so lovely to see you.
I was actually going to say to you, Sinead, the last time I think I saw you was the races. Yeah.
You're having a great time.
And I was pumping sweat. Do you remember? We were absolutely pumping sweat, and what we would do to have it again right now.
Oh God. And you were telling me about the millions of people that were going to your wedding. Lol.
Not happening now. No, it's gas, because I'm listening to everyone, Granny and Sue and all the lads, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. No, we're not having that. I'm actually grand, but it's just really funny because I'm here going, nah, not happening. No. Oh, are we doing? No, we're not doing that. But you have to, like, there's positivity, and then you have to laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you get me? Like, I actually have to laugh. I was just sitting down the other day, I rang James, and I was like, I have to laugh. And he was like, yeah, of course you have to, because like
you would lose it otherwise.
100%. Like yesterday, last year, I was on Jennifer Zambrelli chatting about postponing and how it was going to be in August. And then we laughed. because we were like, no, we'll change it to May or to March next year because it'll be grand. And look at us now.
But sure, I booked my flights to Spain last year. I was like, Jesus, like it's grand. Like, and I was telling my family, and they booked their flights. My friends booked their flights.
Yeah, everyone.
Which
and
no
then
one could have predicted.
no, because we all thought that it would be grand. Well, it will be grand, but look, listen, it could be worse. You know, no, it really, really could be worse.
Vanessa, you are. It's so lovely to have you, by the way. And how
Yeah, come here. Thanks for having me on.
How is everything going? How's school and everything? Like, you're obviously a teacher as well.
No, I'm off. I'm still off because I'm in a new school. I actually changed jobs. Of course I would. In the middle of a pandemic. So I transferred to a school closer to me, and I was working in Temple Oak for 12 years and transferred. So I don't have as much of a commute now, but yeah, so I'm teaching. It's a new school. So we only have up to junior cert. So we won't be back until after Easter holidays, but I'm still online with this beautiful face every morning. Morning, lads. If anyone's watching, I have makeup on today. And one day I was talking to them and my screen is shared, so I don't see myself. And I was really getting into the class, and I turned around and I was like that. And I was like, I frightened myself. I was like, well, Jesus, lads, I'm sorry. They're like, no, you're cool. It's fine. It's grand. We're used to it.
Oh,
it's okay.
God. So it's all been online. Yeah. And how are you finding being at home? Like, are you kind of cracking up, or are you all right?
Working at home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I'm working out, I'm eating in the all in the kitchen. So this is my little area here, and then I go over there to do a jump around like a tick, and then I go over there to cook the food, and it's just a never-ending spiral. But it's grand. Like, I'm used to it now. You know. I
don't think I can.
It's very different to last year when we first
and we were all making banana bread.
Yeah. Well, I never did that healthy now. I just made the buns and sent them into Sean into work, and they all gained about a stone. So I was happy enough. I wasn't eating them.
And how is Sean getting on? How is he finding it all?
Oh yeah, like he's grand. Like we're very the same. Where it's like you just have to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And with his job, as you know, it's quite tough. Yeah. But they're grand, they're getting on grand, and it's just like plowing on every day. It's like ticking a box. That day is done. Let's go on, you know. But like he's, thank God, he's in great health and he's keeping well, and you know, we're just literally counting down the days.
I know.
You know, and I give you a laugh. A friend of mine texted me the other day. Now I'm like, you're out of touch, right? She goes to me, come here. Are you heading off for a few days after the wedding? Now, I was drinking a cup of tea and I nearly choked. It came out of my nose. I was like, no. We're going to collect the dogs the next day and go home. She was like, what? I was like, yeah.
And it's actually a pandemic.
Yeah. She goes, oh, Jesus, yeah, gosh, I forgot about that. She might do something in the summer. I was like, yeah. She's like, and are you going on a honeymoon? Me? No, we got the back garden done instead. No, won't be. No, that's my honeymoon, out the back there on the deck and with a few slabs. Do you know? To look at that.
So tell us the crack. You're getting married in 11 days, 10 days.
10 days, yes, Tuesday week.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Tuesday week.
So can you tell us a little bit about it, or?
Yeah, so basically we're doing the full day. So a lot of people are like, you know, celebrating their own way. Some people are just getting married and going back you know, and having food in their house or whatever. But you know, we don't really do anything by half. So we just said feck it, and we're doing the whole lot. So everything.
So are
the full works.
Open then for that? Are you allowed to eat in the hotel then? With the 6 people or whatever?
The whole lot. Yeah. So we're getting married in Cabra. And we're doing the whole lot there, our ceremony and reception and everything. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah, I really am. Yeah, because it's been like a lot of people are kind of like, you know, the spark is, or have you felt the spark is gone? And I was like, and I know Sinead, like I'm laughing, but like if it was to happen now to me, like I would be like, I'd be like heartbroken because I was back in March, but because we've had the year and and deep down, like I remember last month when the bios came on, you know, about, oh, we'll extend it, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, in my heart, it was like, I still think we're going to have 25. And we had our list of 25 and we had contacted those people. And I'd gone and done the feckin' invites anyway, you know, oh, third time lucky, another invite. They're sitting in the box, Harry, along with 30 million bloody stamps. I must have bought all the bloody stamps on bus when they were on cheap. Do you remember when they were on offer? I don't know how many I bought. I fucking loads there. They'll do every Christmas coming now anyway. But anyway, all the Christmas cards and love stamps. There you are. But in my heart, I was like, I was like, my heart was like, it's going to be 25 grand. And then no, it wasn't. It was 6. So that was the end of that. But yeah, like, I mean, you have to try and find positives. That's the thing. That's what's getting me through everything is we're doing this finally. And we should be grateful that we're able to do it.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I asked you. And you know what? Like, there's only so long you can wait. And I feel like you're kind of putting your life on hold as well. Like, it's like we need to get on with things as well. Like, we need to move on with our lives. And that's
100%. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And again, like we said, you know, next year that we'll be able to celebrate at some point. We'll do a party or something, but that's only when it's going to be safe. We're not doing a date yet. We're not doing anything purely because of that. You know. Yeah. And again, I just don't want to be putting pressure on people either, because next year people will be flat out. They'll be going to everything. Do you know?
There'll be loads happening.
There'll be loads.
I'm really excited now.
Yeah, she's the woman is absolutely sweating. And I think
stamps already.
Did you get the stamps, lads? Get the stamps.
Sorry.
We're still on special, I think. Yeah, come on. She can stand outside, look up the steps. She is. Now, God love her, she is. She's Mum is very, very, very level-headed at the moment. Like, she's grand. Like, she's not freaking or nothing. Because I keep telling her there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So
there isn't. Like, you know,
there isn't. You know, and she's just really looking forward to it. And I think to be honest, my parents and Sean's parents, you know, they're just looking forward to having the day, because it's just been, as we said, so long. And the same, like Sean's brother is going, he's best man, and of course James is my man of honor. So I'm just looking forward to seeing James dressed up in the rig out. Do you know what I mean? Now, I was thinking about getting Clem and Siobhan's dresses and maybe putting them in one of them, but I don't think they'd be happy.
Oh, I know.
And then I asked him, what would Malahide Woman be wearing? You know, will she make an appearance maybe later?
She might. I don't know. On the day.
For the reception.
Exactly. So what is allowed at the minute then? Are you allowed music?
Yeah, just for the ceremony. That's all.
Just for the ceremony.
Yeah. And my friend is doing it for me, and I'm having a string trio. So my good friend Gary is doing that for me with 2 of the lads. And that's it. And you know what? I'll be honest, a lot of people have asked me this because I'm a music teacher and I'm also a wedding singer myself. Yeah. And so everyone was like, I can't believe you're still going ahead with no music. And I was like, do you know what? That is true. It is heartbreaking for me. And it's one of the things, because our band won't be there. And the band that we chose, the Favours, they're absolutely amazing. They're unreal. We went to see them play their 2019 before we booked them, and they're just so good. And Mick is the lead singer, and he's unreal. And you know, we were on to him recently, and we were like, you know, for next year, whenever we get a date, will you guys be able to play? And they were like, we'll defo sort you out. So for me, it's just it's for me, it's the music is really important to me, but we can't have it. And you know what? I don't really mind, because I know that we're going to have to crack anyway.
You're going to have a massive party.
I have 3 playlists ready. I have the playlist for the morning ready, and that's comprised of Girls Aloud, a bit of Linda Martin, a couple of Eurovision favourites in there as well. Yeah, that may be played then for the reception.
Yeah,
do you know?
No, it's going to be amazing. And I've seen people chat as well about weddings that they've gone ahead and they still had the most amazing date. And I think people spoil you so much more because it's been a bit crap, like, and rightly so, absolutely spoiled.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is as well is that it's basically the 2 years.
Yeah.
So the amount of people that you have there extra is a massive, massive bonus, you know, and especially to the couples who have had 50 and 25, like, oh my God, dream, like absolutely amazing. And you know, they should be so lucky that they have that amount. But at you know, the best of things, I just keep saying we're so lucky that they're going ahead.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's the thing. Like, imagine if they turn around and they go, lads, actually, no, nothing is happening.
I know. You'd be
I'd
so
be gone.
gone.
I'd be gone.
Yeah.
See ya.
No, I think that's the best. That's the best attitude.
No.
I'm just reading something that came in here. Sorry now, let me see. I love Vanessa. She's so positive and funny. Oh my God, I love her so much. That time at the races, I was laughing for ages.
Oh yeah, we were sweating so bad. I was in bits.
Very warm. I was wearing a navy dress and I
remember.
really warm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and remember
really
the gold
warm.
shoes I wear to everything. They were hanging off me feet.
We
Clark's
were literally
finest.
an hour chatting. Getting
Yeah.
married in 2 weeks. Their bridesmaid has comedian booked for an hour in the evening as a gift. That's such a class
Brilliant.
idea via Zoom. Deadly idea. Any tips to anyone, Vanessa, who's like probably feeling like, oh Jesus, I can't postpone again? Like what made you kind of go ahead, or what was you being like, oh, you know what, it's going ahead?
Well, basically at Christmas time, you know, everyone was all celebrating, and I think at the back of it all, we kind of all were like, I think January is going to be a tough month for everybody. And January came, and we had just said, regardless, this is happening. We've had so much that has happened to us in our personal lives over the past few years, Sean being sick and everything. And thank God he's so, like, he's well, and you know, we only had a scan there recently, so that came back clear and everything's brilliant.
I hope
But
he gets back soon.
yes, he actually said that to me. He was like, he really hopes he's going to be up there. But yeah, and I mean, it puts a lot of things into perspective. And as you said, it's a waiting game at this point for people. Are they able to postpone it? Yes. I mean, if you want to do that, my God, go ahead and do it. You have to do what's right for you. And as a couple, for us, we just wanted to go ahead with it. And yeah, and you know what? It is tough. And we were very, very lucky because we were originally the 5th of April last year. So we only had 3 weeks before we postponed it, and we had everything kind of done. Do you know what I mean? So everything was kind of done. So since then, I've been just putting myself into doing things like repersonalizing the main things, for example, you know, and you know, sitting by the door waiting for Unpost and DPD and saying hello to the same lads every week. You know, really thanking them from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for delivering that to me. I do need it. Thank you. And one chap was like, oh, there you are again. You getting married to me? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I actually am.
I actually am. But yeah, so it's basically like, what do you do? Do out your list and write down all the stuff that you need to do at the moment, and just plow on. And it's really, really, really hard, because all last year we were like, oh, grand. Everything was grand. And, you know, and we didn't really do anything because we, as I said, had most of the stuff done. But just, you know, repersonalizing things, and, you know, just, you know, like, we're going to have dinner for 8 people, so 6 guests and ourselves, and, you know, we brought down our favors. We did a donation to the unit in Beaumont, looked after Sean St. Damian's ward. So we had done that, and we kept some of the cards, and we're going to put them on the table, just things like that. Like, so that we didn't change everything. We still have the 5th of, or the 5th of April. Sorry, we still have that date on some things. But yeah, it's just, and you know, I found this lockdown to be the hardest out of everything. And people have said, like, what has made you so positive, and how do you keep going? And it's like, I have no choice. I have to do it. And that's basically it. I've been doing the Zoom workouts, going for the walks, watching me food. And, you know, last year, there wasn't much of that. But, you know, really until the summer when I went, oh, Jesus, I can't fit into that. That won't go up my leg. And then I just basically was like, right, that's it. And same with Sean as well, you know. It's all in all, you want to look nice in your dress and everything. Of course you do. And you want to look well in your tux or whatever, grand. But, you know, it's really about getting out and putting yourself first and being like, right, that's it. And if I do all these steps, then it's going to make it a lot easier for when the time actually comes. And it's now like 10 days away.
You
know,
it flies by as well, doesn't it?
absolutely flies by. And I wouldn't be one now for a countdown, Sinead, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really do anything like that.
You don't share
Not
that
that
drama.
No, not at all. Or pick a string quartet every morning. No, I don't do that. But what I will say is how many days to Christmas?
Oh yeah, you always do that. I love that.
I'm like, oh God, I think it's 200 and something, but I'll get back to you. It is, I think it's 200, is it 252 or something? Maybe not. I will get back to you on that one. But yeah, basically the last month absolutely flew. And the one thing I found the hardest was not being able to go to shops and buy anything.
Yeah.
So everything is online, and you're trying to buy everything online, and you know, we're just hoping for the best that it looks all right when it arrives. Basically,
I know that it's the same on the internet. And so say as well, then, how did you find postponing? As in, like, was it all virtual with Cabra? Were they like everything was easy enough? I'm sure to postpone it.
The first time, it's so funny. And for the first time we did this. So the first time it was basically, school had closed on the Thursday. I went home. I was meant to get my bits done in the salon. That was stopped. And Sean had all his groomsmen up with my dad and his dad to get fitted for their tuxes. So they were getting all that done. And then we just all met and we were like, right, we're going to have to take the next 48 hours and make a decision. You know, so basically that's what we did, and obviously with people's health was the most important thing.
Yeah.
So it was that Saturday, and we just rang everybody and changed the date, and that was basically it.
Originally,
we had 122.
Okay.
So it was small. It was it's not small. It was grand. It wasn't in the 300s.
It's a big one now.
Ooh, 6. I'm sweating. But so basically we rang everybody, and nearly all our suppliers were grand. They were able to change the date, and that was grand. And then it came to May Bank Holiday weekend, and I just kind of got this feeling. I was like, do you know what? I don't think we should go ahead in August. And it was just
in August. Was it? It was between, was it 50?
Was it 25? I think it was 50, I think. Or was it 25 or 50? I think it was 50. But I just had this feeling, and I was like, do you know what? I don't think we should do it. And to be honest, the date we had picked was very, very, very close to me going back to school. And, you know, I just was like, no. Yeah. So I said, Sean, like, what do you think? And he said, right, you know what, we'll do it next year. So on blower to Cabra again. That's me. Hi, lads. They see the number coming up. Oh, Jesus, here she is. Anyway, and I said, look, you know what? We're thinking about changing again. And it was the Easter holidays for me, because obviously I'm a teacher. And we kind of wanted to keep it around the same time because of this infamous colour scheme and everything that I'd gone for the whole day. And I was like, no, it'd be grand. So we got our closest date, and the only date they had available was the 30th of March, and we took it. And I was thinking then somewhere, gee, you know what, I'd be sweating and everything, the dress, and here I won't be able for it. So that's what happened. So we were very, very lucky that everybody was available. Also, with it being midweek, a lot of people see, for me it doesn't really matter about days because of work and stuff. So basically I was like, here, it'll be grand. And you know, we told everybody, all our guests, you know, this is the date, la la la. And then, so we were like, oh, it'll be brilliant. And we'll have the numbers then come March 2021, you know, and that was it. And I was delighted with it. I was like, grand, and we'll be fine. And then obviously when we went back to school, the numbers were going down. Everything was grand. People we were living in level 3, was it? The gyms were open. It was brilliant. And it was great. Which it does. And you know what? We had our Christmas, and then and then we're back to this. So to be honest, really, we were very, very lucky with suppliers, and the few we have. But we're very lucky that people, you know, that it was there, and you know, we're able to go ahead with it, as I said. But it was just the whole pain of having to postpone again. You know. Yeah. And you do feel like you're letting people down a small bit. You do. I felt like that. Yeah. But now, like, you know, I suppose the thing on the day is that we're not going to have our bridesmaids, we're not going to have our groomsmen, we're not going to have the people we want there, you know, and that's going to be the kind of hardest thing for me, I think. But then again, I mean, everybody understands, and you know, there's nothing that we can physically do.
Nothing you can do. No.
Nothing.
And I
Nothing.
love that you're going ahead, and you are going to
Yeah,
be
thanks.
the most fabulous bride. I'm living for the pictures. I'm living for everything.
So
And
am
you're
I.
fab, Vanessa. Like, anytime
Thanks.
you see the energy, like, I just want to bring you home here just to chat. Like, someone just said, perfect guest to have on today, International Happiness Day. And literally,
yeah.
you're giving the boost and life to so many
Fabulous.
people here. So you deserve everything and more.
Thanks, Sinead.
And it's
Cheers.
going to be fab. So best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Best of luck, and thank you for coming on, and thanks to all our speakers. And you need to follow Vanessa Butler 002 or something.
000, because I didn't want to do 007 and sound like an idiot. I didn't want to put my date of birth down, that'd be weird, and also my age, because that changes every year, apart from last year.
Yeah, I know, never even counted. Nothing counted last year. What's
No.
year? Vanessa, thanks a million. And,
Thanks, Sinead.
I'm delighted.
Take care.
Take care. And thanks so much, everyone, for jumping on. And I hope you all enjoyed. I actually needed that laughter so much, Vanessa. Thanks.
So delighted.
This is recorded, but thanks so much to everyone again. And see you all very soon. And good luck. Thanks again, Vanessa. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. 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 Bye.